Hello and welcome to Daily News Report, as well as ongoing stimulus package information video. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now so I can keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C., the next stimulus package, the U.S. economy, money, investing, and much, much more. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is making waves in Congress right now with an idea that could create $77 billion of excess money for the federal government. And she says that she wants to use that money to strengthen social safety net programs like monthly checks, food stamps, a whole host of things. So I'll tell you about that. AOC sits on the Oversight Committee and believes it's time for President Biden to reduce the United States military budget and the money going to the Pentagon. She said the United States is involved in less wars. We just exited the most expensive war, Afghanistan, and yet the budget was increased for next year. What's going on, she says. AOC pointed out that we have Americans struggling to pay their bills, struggling to put food on the table, struggling to avoid homelessness, yet we keep pumping trillions of dollars towards the Pentagon and defense contractors. She said these defense contractors are gouging the American taxpayer with inflated prices in order to post massive profits for stockholders. She wants to see the defense budget shrunk by $77 billion each year and have that money moved to things like monthly living checks, food assistance, and building more affordable. Now, she pointed something out that I was not aware of, but I know that this is done within private businesses every year. AOC said that budgets are too big, so each year when there's leftover money, instead of keeping that money for next year or giving it back to the people, the government and these contractors go on wild spending sprees so that they can use it before they lose it, right? If they spend less, then their budget for next year gets shrunk. So what do? They go on these wild spending sprees with taxpayer money, she says. Now, I'm curious to know from my community, do you think it's time to revamp the Pentagon budget and use that money back home for social safety net programs for American taxpaying citizens? Or do you think shrinking the budget will weaken the military? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from you. Also, did you know that each September, the government and the Pentagon go on wild spending sprees to use up their budget so that the following year their budget isn't reduced? I didn't know that. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. This is all interesting information in my opinion. All right, so this could be a way of getting monthly living checks, strengthening Social Security, which says they're going to run out of money, helping Americans become food stable, and helping build more affordable housing. Housing has become so expensive. The next generation and those that make under $50,000 a year, they just can't even afford the American dream. So far, AOC is starting to get traction with this bill. That means that more and more representatives are attaching their name in Congress. Okay, now I have a lot more to tell you about the stimulus package specifically and the infrastructure voting. But first, let me tell you about an app that I think is going to help you be better and smarter with your money and your credit score. I want to thank today's video sponsor, Truebill. Truebill is the best smartphone app for improving your financial health. This app helps members better manage their money, create a workable budget, lower their bills, and achieve their financial goals faster. After doing financial coaching for over 15 years, I can honestly tell my community that with an app like Truebill, you will achieve your financial goals faster. With Truebill, you can cancel unused subscriptions that are costing you money each month with the click of a button. No more having that awkward, I'd like to cancel my subscription conversation ever again. Lastly, many of you have asked in the comments section for tips on how to improve your credit score. Truebill gives detailed information about your credit score and your history, so you know how to start improving your credit score right away. So if you want to lower your bills, budget like a boss, get rid of wasteful spending and unnecessary subscriptions, or get a better handle on your credit score, then you're going to love Truebill as much as I do. To get started today, head on over to truebill.com/Stephen Gardner. Now, one of the best ways to improve your financial situation is to become aware of where your money is going each and every month, and Truebill can help. All right, now let's get back to today's video update. The last few days, I've been telling you how Nancy Pelosi is struggling to get either of Biden's big dollar spending bills across the finish line. However, 11 Democrat senators just in the last day, including Bernie Sanders, have told Speaker Pelosi to pass the physical infrastructure bill and the stimulus package at the same time, or they will lose her vote. So every side is telling Nancy Pelosi, do this or you lose our vote. Do that or you lose our vote. But these 11 senators are saying, we don't care what you pass. If you don't bundle these together, when it comes to the Senate, we'll actually go against the party and vote against them, right? So things are just, it's crazy, you guys. I've been covering this for about 18 months now. It's crazy out there. All right, now the vote is scheduled for Monday of this week, so in just 3 days. But in a press conference, Pelosi kept saying, we will vote next week, next week, next week. And while Monday is next week, why didn't she just say it? It kind of makes me think that she's going to be spending this weekend trying to convince people to push back the vote that she promised on Monday. All right, now here's where we add an extra layer of trickiness. Senator Kyrsten Sinema told President Biden that if Madam Speaker Pelosi doesn't keep her promise to vote on the physical infrastructure bill on Monday, that she, Senator Sinema, will not vote on the stimulus package, regardless of the price tag. So Sinema is attempting to make Nancy Pelosi keep her promise, which is not something we see politicians do very often. So on one hand, it's kind of neat to see somebody hold her feet to the fire. On the other hand, this thing is like at the risk of falling apart in 100 different directions. Now, I'm still confident that something is going to pass, but I just need to make you guys aware of this drama that's happening in Washington, D.C. Now, I don't know how many people in my community this helps, but the most popular thing in the next stimulus package, according to a new study, is actually Medicare expansion to add dental, vision, and hearing care to the package. Now, Bernie Sanders said we must make changes to America because it's becoming too expensive. He gives this example. Americans go to an expensive doctor visit because they are sick. The doctor tells them, hey, I have some medicine that I believe will help you. They then go to fill the prescription and they can't afford it. This isn't the America we want to live in, says Senator Sanders. All right, now Sanders also said, how do we live in a country where 39 of the most profitable businesses have paid $0 in taxes for many, many years? Now, remember, he's pulling all of this into the light, right? Because he plans to cover the $3.5 trillion stimulus package by taxing the wealthy and taxing large corporations, and by saving the federal government hundreds of billions of dollars on prescription drug prices. Okay, now this next part is going to make some people in my community angry and some people scared. But I think it's something you need to be aware of, so please don't shoot the messenger. This isn't from me. This is just in the news. I know many of you are on SSI and disability and Social Security, and you've been waiting for President Biden to keep his campaign promise of raising your monthly money by $200 a month. Well, yesterday, Democrat members of the House Energy and Commerce Committee proposed taking President Biden's $400 billion for SSI, disability, and home care down by $190 billion. So instead of $400 billion, they would bring it down to $210 billion. Now, nearly 1 in 4 Americans has a disability and receives some level of SSI. And now they are discussing reducing the future budget by $190 billion. Now, this runs in the exact opposite direction of Biden's anti-poverty initiative we've heard about from this current administration. So I am hoping that this doesn't happen because many in my community receive help from these programs. But as of right now, as I mentioned, according to multiple sources, Democrats on the House Energy and Commerce Committee have proposed reducing Biden's budget in this area. Now, next Tuesday, so in 4 or 5 days, a congressional committee will hear testimony from key experts about the good and the harm making this reduction would do. If this reduction goes into place, it certainly wouldn't feel like building back better for those that are dependent upon these social safety net programs. Again, I'm hoping that this doesn't happen, and please don't blame me, but I needed to make you aware of this. This was found in the New York Times and also several other major news networks. Okay, now a big bombshell of news. And you guys can look this up. I know that some of you are going to think I'm making this up, but I'm not, okay? Several major news outlets have inside information showing that President Joe Biden may actually be $500,000 behind on his taxes. A nonpartisan watchdog group is showing that President Biden made changes to his income reporting right before running for president. It shows he routed $13 million through an S-corp to lower his taxes, which is a classic loophole move used by the rich. If this is true, and according to several major sources it is, this means that he allegedly avoided paying $500,000 in taxes, and the federal government wants that money. Now, this does not look good, as this next stimulus package is centered around tax the rich, plug up these tax holes for the rich, make the rich pay their share fair. The timing of this could not be any worse, as President Biden's approval rating is already suffering at around 43%. Just to give some context, at this same time with President Obama, his approval rating was at 61%, and Biden is at 43% right now. So this bombshell report is coming on the heels of a new Pew Research report, which shows that 66% of Americans believe President Biden isn't keeping his promises, and 56% of Americans believe he isn't mentally sharp enough to be president. Now, this polling data is on several major news networks, and you can look it up, but things are not looking good, man. I'm like blown away to be reporting this stuff every day. All right, now speaking of politicians in trouble, newbie Republican Representative Lauren Boebert, I hope I said that right, from Colorado is in hot water with the FEC. She disclosed that she paid rent using her Venmo account that was linked to campaign funds. Now, this is a big no-no. She says it was an honest mistake and has paid back the money, but she will likely face a large fine from the FEC. All right, now, today the stock market is a mixed bag of up and down. Some stocks are up and some are down, and some are way down, right? Many of the energy stocks and car stocks that I own are down today, which is kind of odd because usually when it goes up, energy goes down, and when energy goes up, goes down. But today they're both down, and many of the companies that I own. So anyway, just something to be aware of if you follow the stock market. Now, next week, I'll be telling you about a stock that I think could really boom over the next decade, and they are just now entering the United States. People laughed at the viability of one of their top competitors, and since going public, that company's stock has exploded by over 600%. So, and I think that this could be one, if we catch it small, could grow big over the next 10 to 20 years. So I'll be bringing that to your attention next week, so watch for that video. Also, remember, when it comes to the stock market, you always have to have a long-term perspective, right? Your 401k, your IRA, the stocks you own, the indexes, they're going to go up and down, right? And so if that bothers you, then paying off debt may be the best short-term bang for your buck when it comes to investing, right? Investing in your own debt-free future. I'm going to be doing a real-life case study of someone I recently helped shave 20 years off of getting out of debt. I'll be putting that together in the next week or two as I have some spare time in between videos and clients to show you how to get out of debt faster. So also watch for that video. Okay, now some lighter news. As we head into the weekend, a family in Arizona has a video that has gone viral. A father was watching his young daughter play with a toy on their back patio. He didn't think much of it until the toy started to move. As he went over to see which toy his daughter was having so much fun with, it turned out to be a giant Arizona desert tarantula. The dad rushed in and grabbed the 18-month-old. Now, neither the baby or the giant tarantula were hurt, but I'll bet you that father will be checking for spiders every time his daughter plays for the rest of her life. Can you imagine your 18-month-old baby's playing with a giant tarantula? Oh, Oh my gosh. We get one small spider in the house and my wife wants to move. I don't know. Are you afraid of spiders or not? Let me know in the comments. I just come and move on. All right, now this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more.